Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. Oh my goodness. All right, so apologies that I'm a couple of minutes, little bit late there. I've just been catching up on the latest news, and my goodness, this diabolical orange felon and the stuff that he is up to is just absolutely astonishing. Absolutely astonishing. So as you know, you can see different environment. I am currently in Hanover, and I'm playing a little tennis tournament over here. It's been great. It's been great exercise. It's been really good. It's been really good fun. Really nice people. All of that kind of stuff. Will I be doing competitions again? I'm not. I'm not so sure if I will. But anyway, I've been really enjoying myself, and I've been having a nice time. But I'm also looking forward as well to coming back to the UK and being in my usual environment. Thank you all of you here for joining me this evening. And one of the things that has been great about being here in Hanover and like playing tennis and stuff is that I have been away from the news because you're so busy, you're playing, you're talking with people, we're moving between venues. The weather has been dreadful. It has been absolutely chucking it down here with rain in Hanover in Germany. Everyone thinks that the UK is very, very wet. Let me tell you, it's getting a lot drier. And we've not had rain like this in London for years. It's absolutely chucking it down. But it's meant that I have had a bit of a mental break, as you can imagine, from the news. Anyways, I'm just like, well, let me just top up and see what's going on before I start my show. And Trump, Duck L'Orange. This is just ridiculous. The guy needs to be sectioned. He absolutely needs to be sectioned. It's just ridiculous. So let me just say hello to the people here. Let me just kind of click on. So people are just diving straight in with the, oops, let's just see if that's actually going to show. Here we go. I don't know how to say that. Amma? Yeah. Amma? Yeah, let's say Amma. Shanjali. Madame Maxwell just moved to a country club of a prison. Gee, seems like a nice quid pro quo is in the works. I mean, what else? Yeah. What else? What else do we need to know? MK says, unfortunately, the latest news is all bad, at least from the USA. It's just, oh my gosh. Let me just say hello, some hellos here. Tobias, and good evening, Hoagie, and everyone from West Sussex. Hello, Tobias. Thanks so much for joining us. And then Sherry said, hello, Hoagie. Nice to see you. A Friday delight. Thank you. Oh, it's astonishing. It is absolutely astonishing. So what I would say is so now what I've done is, as you know, normally I would print out the questions, but of course I don't have a printer while I'm here on my travels and adventures. So I've got your questions on the phone. Hopefully I think it's got all the questions. I was pressing the refresh, getting the newest one first, so it shows me the whole lot. Apologies if it is missed. I'm not able to print out in the usual way, but some of them are also comments as well. And I think we should dive in to the show. I'll say this again at the end, but I just want to also let people know that if we look here, I'm doing a little sale, yeah, on all my consultations. So you're going to get 20% off. If you type in at checkout, if you put in Hoagie20, yeah, just like that. And what have I put here? So all my consultations that are 60 minutes and longer, you can get 20% off those. I think until August 12th. I think I've put there till August 12th. And so, yeah, if you've always wanted to have a consultation with me, or you thought about it and you're like, I'm not sure, I just thought, right, it's good to do a little summer sale, particularly as well as, you know, things are looking tricky, isn't it? Things are looking a little bit So, you know, want to help people out a bit. And these are very testing times, very testing times. So I'm back in swimming in the pool of the news and of current events. And yeah, let's just dive in. Let's see who else is here as well. Let's see. Oh, lots of you here. Oh, here we are. Gloria sees is replying and saying to Tartan Spice, it's YouTube's way of acknowledging the number of comments. Oh, I'm not quite sure if I'm following that one there. This Tartan Spice. You never mentioned how the marinated chicken you were making during your fry up. See what's going on. Let's close down some pages just in case that could be interfering. The chicken came out excellent. It was delicious. And I did turn off the oven in time. Don't worry, it didn't burn. It was actually perfect. It worked out just great. And let's see here. Carly saying good morning, Hogarth, and good evening to all who enjoy. Good evening, all. Enjoy your weekend. All right, so let's just dive in straight to the first question, and then we'll just work our way through. And then we're going to obviously have to talk about Trump and the jobs numbers and what he's just done, firing this person. And this is it's just astonishing, isn't it? It's just absolutely astonishing. So let's look here. So this is coming from Manuela Orchid. Thank you so much for your question. She says, hello, Hoagie. I hope you enjoy your stay in Hanover and everyone is nice to you. Yes, they have been very nice, actually. The Germans have been very nice. And my question today would be if there will be an escalation between Russia and the USA, because Trump did send U-boats to Russia somewhere. Thank you. Much love, Manuela. So you can see there's the question there. So this is a fresh story for me. And apparently Trump, obviously the jobs numbers weren't great. And he's just fired the top statistician who's given job numbers, which obviously aren't great. And now he's calling it Biden propaganda. It just beggars belief, doesn't it, guys? I mean, pardon me. Can you believe that we are here? Can you believe that we are here? Yeah, this isn't even a year. We're what, seven months in. I was just watching a bit of Midas Touch, and you could see the host, I forget his name, the eldest brother, I think, just absolutely exasperated at what is going on. So let's look into this Russia, US, Russia, Trump, Russia thing. It's obviously to deflect. He's sort of like threatening, and this is just astonishing. All right, Trump, Russia, and let's get into some of the other questions. It's like the way the news cycle is, Trump is so psychotic now, effectively. You can't be, I mean, my last video, it was the Wednesday show, wasn't it? With the ladies, so Lady G, Sheila, and Libby. And thanks as well for all the encouragement and support. And you guys really enjoyed having Libby on. We love having her on as well. And I want to ask her to come back as well. I've not been able to send her the email yet, but she'll be back on in the future. I think next week's Wednesday show, sorry, I'm having a stream of thought here, it might be potentially be 5 of us for this will be a one-off though, to make sure that the sequence following goes in the right order. Then it will just be the usual crowd. And I think after that we are going to have Susan Lin on. I think it's the 13th of August, something like that. Anyway, let's just dive into this topic. What's going on now? Apparently Duck L'Orange was not pleased with what Medvedev, who was the former president of Russia, and you remember Putin did that little move, demoted himself, to prime minister and then became president again. I don't know if you guys remember that, but apparently Trump has not liked certain tweets the former president has made. I don't know what those tweets are, but clearly it wasn't something Dr. Lodge liked. So what's going on here? I'm going to have to pull some clarifiers here. All right. If we look here, straight out the gate, we get the... what's that? That's not justice, that's judgment. I get the judgment card out. Now, this is really is kind of like a card of epiphany and revelation. Yeah, epiphany and revelation. So, in a way, look, you can see here, I think this is supposed to be Archangel Michael, but here you can see he's blowing on the bugle call. So essentially, this is a giant wake-up call. Yeah, this is a wake-up call. Not Russia, because of course they've been... I wonder if I might have to drop down. The internet's looking a little bit low. Let me know if the sound and the picture is all right on your end. If there are any more issues, I might have to turn down the resolution of the video. So if we look here, what this is about is not about the fact whether or not there are connections between Trump and Putin and Russia. Of course there is. That's well established now. This is more like the wake-up call to everyone to be like, Trump is a madman. Yeah, absolute madman. Yeah. What is the obstacle? If we look here, we've got the Page of Cups, which you guys know I often refer to this card as Stinky Fish. The reason why I call it Stinky Fish is because here you see he's there holding a cup, but this page is holding a cup with a fish coming out the top. So this can do with unpleasant messages, something audible or strange or highly erratic or unusual. Because think of it, how many people walk around the street holding a cup with a fish in it? Yeah, it's quite extraordinary. This is the rhetoric of Dr. Range. This is his erratic behavior. This is his strangeness. This is his messed upness, yeah, which is causing the bugle call, yeah. This is the 5-alarm fire. This is the whoop, 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 yeah. If we look here in the middle, we have the King of Swords. Now, this is a really interesting card, this card, because as you guys know, I associate the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords with what? Accounting. Those of you who follow my channel regularly, you know I associate accounting and the numbers and stuff like that with these cards. So here, in a way, these are the hard statistics. The King of Swords is a cool, rational card, ideally. It's clinical, it's analytical, this king. It's not an emotional card. In many ways, these are the statistics, the job statistics that have come out. This person has done their job, whoever got fired. Forgive me for forgetting their name, because I only just learned the story myself. These are the cold, hard facts. If we look here, we see here, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Now, of course, he's holding the coin in his hand. So this can also be, of course, associated with money, with finance. But we need to understand that this is a slow moving card. It is a very slow moving card. And I think this is actually talking about the economy. I think this is what? The stats, yeah? The stats on the job numbers, therefore the economy. The economy is slowing down. Trump's tariffs are starting to kick in and take effect. You see, in a way, it's quite interesting that this has morphed from Russia, where really now I'm actually talking about the economy. I feel it's flowed that way. This is what it seems to be saying to me. And then if we look here, we see the 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, and this is the card of what? ROI, return on investment. So again, this can also talk about the economy, what's being invested in it or what is not being invested in it, but bringing it back to Russia. Sorry, my kind of consciousness went that way. But this is also talking about the relationship that Putin has invested in Trump. Yeah, this long game, this drip, 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 drip. But this can also be Trump now looking at his investment. It's dwindling, the dwindling numbers, and he has to try and find a way to what? Distract, deflect. So now he's doing the nuclear stuff to distract and deflect from the economy. And Ghislaine Maxwell, who is now been moved to a cushy, low security place in Texas. Yeah. The equivalent of the holiday home for inmates. It's like, you cannot make this stuff up. You literally cannot make this stuff up. Now, let's look at this in terms of Putin and Trump's investment in their joint scheme, even though he's trying to make out that he's against Russia, which he isn't. We all know that that Putin has rented Trump's behind for years. But let's just pull some clarifiers on that, because I feel that the two blended together. It wasn't my intention, but that's where it went. Let's pull clarifier here and get into some of the other questions. And isn't it interesting, guys? Do you remember? We'll pull next on Ghislaine Maxwell. But do you remember when I pulled cards on her, and do you remember she got the 6 of Swords, and I said she is moving to smoother waters? Do you remember me saying that? I said she could literally, some kind of deal is happening where she's going to be shifted, she's going to be moved. Look, it's happened. That was maybe, what, 3 weeks ago? Was it 3 weeks ago? Maybe a month ago? Anyway, let's get some clarity on this. Then we'll do a read on Ghislaine. It's reaching the point, isn't it, guys, where one doesn't even know what to say anymore. Do you know, it's just astonishing what is happening. All right, so the clarification on this 7 of Pentacles. If we look here, we have the 6 of Cups, yeah? And this is a card of nostalgia, but it's not just that. It really does talk about the past. But you'll notice here, there are young children here. Yeah, now think about that. Think of what's happening with Ghislaine Maxwell, Trump being expunged, yeah, by the FBI. Have looked into his stuff and they've removed his name, yeah. So his trail back to the children, yeah, is not so clear. But what this means is, it means obviously Putin knows about all of this stuff, yeah, and that's part of the big hold. If we look here, we have the Strength card. And here you can see, yeah, this woman here is taming the beast. However, the shadow of this card can literally be bestial behavior, yeah, giving in to one's urges, yeah, not being able to restrain oneself. This is normally a card of self-control, but we're talking about Trump here, and we know what has he been unrestrained around, yeah, minors. And then here, the outcome card is the Lovers. Now, the Lovers doesn't talk always literally about love. As you know, I also associate this card with imports and exports, international trade deals. Yeah. So this is also talking about tariffs, but this is also talking about contracts and agreements. Yeah. So when you put all of that together, it's like there's a contractual agreement and understanding between Putinska and Declarange, yeah, with obviously Putin usually having the upper hand. And it's been like an international business. And in a way you could say, look, the trafficking, like what is that business has been about? The Lovers, yeah, the sexual impropriety, shall we say, to put it delicately. We could use a word beginning with P that I don't want this video to be struck. Here we also have a woman here as well. That could easily be Ghislaine. And then obviously the connotations to childhood and innocence with this card are obvious. So when I put that all together, what that is saying to me is that Putinshka, of course, knows all about this, and this is a big part of his shtick and his power that he has at the base of the deck. Yeah, we see the Eight of Swords to put Trump in this position. This also shows that Trump is feeling really quite cornered. So forgive me there. Do you see? But that became quite a continuum. Do you see how one thing morphed into the other there? It could also be that I'm just getting that story and it's so fresh, but again, I'm just reading the cards as well. So I hope you found that interesting. My God, my goodness. All right, let's see who else is here. Let's see. Brent Travis says, good morning, Hoagie and friends from magical and mystical New Orleans. I love New Orleans. I really enjoyed it when I was there, but it is very mystical. It does have something very special about it. And then Titan Spy said, read today that Ghislaine got transferred to a different facility. Yes, she has. Jerry saying, has anyone noticed YouTube videos about victims of cults, MK Ultra? Is this for real? Oh, well, there's lots of cults in the world. And then Funny Monster saying, at least they didn't let her out yet. Yeah, surely that's on the way, isn't it? Surely that's on the way. And then Jerry saying, yes, apparently she was sent to a minimum security facility. Looks pretty cushy there, I must say. They showed the overhead photographs. All right, what we'll do is, I think what we should do is, we need to read on Ghislaine next, don't we? We need to read on Ghislaine next, but let's see what else is in the questions, because I want to acknowledge those that took the time to leave questions for me. Someone says here, now this is more of an astrological one. So they said, hello, Hoagie, if I may, and thank you. What should we be doing for Lion's Gate on the 8th of the 8th, yeah? 8th of August, yeah? So that's the question there. So Lion's Gate is a time when in Western tropical astrology, where this kind of almost like a portal, yeah, of the Leonine energies can come through. Of course, in Neo-Vedic, Lion's Gate would happen a bit later in the year, yeah, because Western tropical is 24 degrees ahead. But what I would say is, in terms of the energy of Lion's Gate, just to kind of talk about it briefly, and isn't it funny? Think about that card that I got before, which was the strength, yeah? And on it, you see the woman there with the lion. That is a very Leonine energy. And let me just say, I think I need to, here we are. Tobiah, thanks so much for your kind donation. Much appreciated. So really what this is saying to me is, this is going to be talking about global leadership around the whole world. Yeah, it's going to be talking a lot about that. But it's not just global leaders. It is about the leadership within ourselves. Yeah, the leadership within ourselves. In fact, before I continue, I'm just going to pull some cards on Lion's Gate and let's see what the message is of this Lion's Gate. How about that? I think that makes more sense, yeah? Rather than me going off on a tangent. Let's just see. All right, Spirit, what can you tell us about the upcoming energies of Lion's Gate? What should people be focusing on at this time with this Leonine energy coming in? Lion's Gate, Lion's Gate. Lion's Gate, Lion's Gate, Lion's Gate, Lion's Gate. Oh, wow. This is very interesting. I might have to pull a clarifier here. All right. So if we look here, we have the Queen of Cups, which we know is a card associated with creativity. It is a card associated with intuition as well. However, it is also a card associated with secrets. So what this is telling me is over this Lionsgate period, we're probably going to find out more secrets about leaders in general, but probably global leaders in particular. Yeah, more revelations are to come. And I think in a way, what is not being said is almost more revealing than what is being said. The way that, of course, the Trump administration or regime is bending over backwards, yeah, to try and keep Ghislaine on side is already in of itself revealing. But we'll have to see what happens. More could emerge because this of course, is a global ring. She's really the only one that's been held accountable for this. There's still speculation about whether Epstein is even dead or not, as was discussed by Sheila and Libby on my Wednesday show. So there's still question marks there. I've just saw as well, they confirmed that the camera wasn't even pointing at his cell. There's all sorts of question marks. So what this says to me is this Lionsgate is going to be revelatory of secrets. We're going to discover more things, particularly when it comes to people in positions of authority and leadership. So brace yourselves. Yeah. If we look here, this wisdom, this knowledge, this knowing these secrets might be hard to carry, maybe hard to bear. I think this is also as well, this part of that, this ongoing reality check, as you know, that I've been talking about. My goodness, hasn't that been the case? This rude awakening where we're discovering there's a lot that we are finding out about society and how some people think. Yeah, but it is showing as well, yes, this is getting a bit heavy, isn't it? It really is starting to feel very, very heavy, and some people actually mentioned that in the comments as well. If we look here in the middle card, in a way, this is about work. Yeah, diligence, working hard, studying. Yeah, so this is also showing as well, this might be a good time to upskill, learn some new skills, keep yourself busy. Think of your plans. Yeah, start making plans, executing plans on things that you want to do. If we look here, though, we do see coming out is the Ten of Swords. Yeah, I think this is how a lot of people are feeling, betrayed, backstabbed, exhausted, just feeling like they're at the end of their tether. Yeah. So this card is a very challenging card, but what this is also talking about to me is, because it's Lionsgate, this may also show as well how some leaders may actually be, their tenure may be coming to an end. So you may see some surprise, maybe just maybe people from high office. They don't even have to be that higher up. Well, in a way, the person who's just done the stats, yeah, as this is what's happened to her. She's been absolutely stabbed in the back. Yeah, she'll be a prominent person. Yeah, she was nominated by Congress. So we might see high profile sackings, betrayals, endings of careers and stuff like that. Yeah, because Leo, we will always talk about leadership. It will also talk about people that are famous, yeah, on the world stage. Things like that. It has a lot to, the Leo also has a lot to do with people in the creative arts and industries as well as leadership. So we may even be seeing some people in the arts suddenly maybe pass away, or maybe even something scandalous about them, or people in positions of leadership suddenly have to change position or be moved around. I think that's going to be a theme. And then if we look here, we have the Chariot. Yeah, we have the Chariot here, which is about moving forward with pace, moving forward with speed. What I would say is this is a good time for all of us to be focusing on our inner leadership, focusing on ways that we want to move forward despite these feelings of betrayal and overwhelm. Keep working hard on our goals, what it is that we want to achieve, even though it does feel heavy and a lot of work. And this is also as well talking about inner resourcefulness and being able to monitor and maintain our own emotional equilibrium. Yeah, because as you know, sometimes I like to read the cards backwards. And when you read the spread backwards, very often it can also give more advice. That's what I've found. Not everyone does it, but you know me. I like to innovate, but I found it's very useful that way. Wow. Okay, so that was on Lion's Gate. Let's see who else is here. Thank you so much, Carmela, for your kind donation. Much appreciated. And let's see here. Let's see who else. Titan Spy saying Guten Nacht or Guten Tag, depending on what time it is by you, Hoagie. It would be Guten Nacht by now because I've started here in Germany at 1 a.m. You see, I don't give up. Like, as you know, wherever I am in the world, if I can do it, I will do my shows come hell or high water. You see me do shows from the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Now, you've also seen me do them from the middle of the Mediterranean Ocean on my mobile phone. Can you believe it? In all the years that I've been doing my YouTube, and thank you guys so much for all of the support. I really do appreciate it. I've only missed one show. I've only had one unscheduled miss. And as we know, sadly, that was when sadly, they took their own life by going under the train, the Brighton to London Express. Sadly, very, very tragic. And that was the one day where I didn't do a show, where I literally physically couldn't be there. But hook or by crook, wherever I am, I will bring you guys a show, as you know. What's this here? Angela's saying Orange Man is pampering Maxwell because he knows she knows, of course. And let's look here. Guess Ghislaine, Trump, Bondi, Bove, Robert, Stephen Miller, and all the slimy billionaires are on the pay later plan. Damn, I'm just too old for this shite. Yeah, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? It's just absolutely ridiculous. So I think, let's see. Supposed to Russia. Old Silver says, what do you think has happened to the Russian nuclear submarine base located in the 8.7 magnitude earthquake, tsunami, and volcano area? And let's see here. US envoy visits. So US envoy visits controversial Gaza aid site. Is this a ploy for them to absolve Israel from any blame and to undermine the talk of Palestine being recognized? Well, do you remember on Wednesday let's dial in with the energy of that. But you remember we did a reading on Wednesday, and it looks like things hopefully are looking quite good for Palestine. Maybe not in the immediate future, but it looks like they are going to be essentially recognized. Let's just see what a bit of that energy is like. I just pulled 3 cards on this one. It's just extraordinary, isn't it? Let me know in the comments, guys, how are you feeling about stuff? Are you just feeling like you're just being beaten over the head constantly with ridiculousness, just madness? The fact that this is continuing, I mean, Trump is clearly deranged. He's absolutely deranged. They've got what they wanted out of him. They don't even need to keep him. Why keep the clown show going? It's just ridiculous. Wow. 3 card pullers actually said quite a lot. So this stunt, yeah, it seems to be want to affect global opinion. Yeah, this is the globe. The globe has been watching. Yeah, the globe has been watching. So this is to try and influence global opinion. It looks like it's in order to try and maintain the status quo. Yeah, this is the 10 of Pentacles, which is the card of legacies. Yeah, this is also the card that has all the generations on it. So this is saying 2 things. Yeah, because you see the grandpa here, you got the children, somewhere his children, and then somewhere their children, the grandkids are playing, and you got the dog. So in a way, this is showing what is at stake. And in terms of what Netanyahu is wanting is obviously that legacy there, because they want the real estate. I mean, they've made it clear. Yeah, Jared Kushner's been talking about the real estate. Trump's been talking about the real estate. Netanyahu was in that Trump Gaza video. So we know they're wanting to establish a further continuation, a legacy. Yeah, that's going to live beyond them. That's part of the motivation. But this is also showing as well that the people of Gaza will potentially have their legacy as well. Yeah. But when we look here, if we look here, no one's completely in control. Yeah, this is going to be based on fate and destiny. Yeah, this is the wheel of fortune. And you see here, the good luck here is prevailing. Yeah, so I think this is actually more inside for the Palestinians because it was about the recognition of them as a state. Now, this has already happened. I think the UK has done it now, you know, about time. France has, and I think about 23 other countries have as well. So there's no going back from that. It's not one or two countries, it's a group of countries. And I think this, in a way, is unstoppable. So I feel the wheel of fortune is turning in favor of Palestine rather than Netanyahu. That's how I'm interpreting that. I hope that doesn't seem biased at all, but that just seems to be what the energy is saying to me. All right, let's see. So we have Fallon is here. Hi, all from Ozark Mountains in Missouri, USA. Wow. Thanks so much for joining us. Tartan Spice says, how convenient Ghislaine can escape and head for the border. And then, yeah, Deborah says, I have run out of words for our current reality. I don't want to minimize all the other suffering, but this really harms the entire planet. Yes, it's true. It's true. And then 2A1 Jubilee says, what is next? Will he pardon Diddy? Now, isn't that funny? Because when I also read on this, do you remember I said Trump will help Diddy out. Why? Why did I say that? Trump is a crook, as we know. And he does not want to set the precedent of people like him, of cut from the same cloth as him, so to speak, facing full accountability. I strongly suspect he's already pulled strings behind the scenes to minimize what really should have been a life sentence for Diddy. And it wouldn't surprise me if before the end of his presidency, he were to excommunicate or severely reduce that down, because that's what Doug Larange does. You know, he defends his own. We know I say he's a cyst. Yeah. I call him a cyst. He's a misogynist or racist. He's all kinds of cysts. But when it comes to his criminal cadre, you will notice Trump will always protect them. Yeah, irrespective of the visage, yeah, skin color, whatever. If you're rich, you're famous, and you're part of that party, yeah, or what used to be called in Italy bunga bunga parties. I mean, I don't think those girls were underage. I don't want to stray into territory on which I'm not on firm ground. But do you know what I mean? You notice he consistently defends those. He will defend his criminal friends and associates. It's astonishing, isn't it? Let's just see who else is here. Lisa says, will people start to pay more attention to the victims of Trump? Absolutely. This is the thing. We should never forget. These are a lot of young women, young girls at the time who are now women that were trafficked. I mean, there's hardly any talk of the victims, isn't there? Hardly any talk of the victims. So they must remain front and center in our minds as well, especially with what's happened to them. And then to see this kind of lawlessness and debasedness, my goodness. All right, so what we'll do is we'll do the Ghislaine part towards the end, because there's some juicy things here. So Nick Meek says, so FBI found a burn bag documents in a secret room touting this as hoax Russian info. Is this more distraction or any basis? Let's see what the cards say. So I think what you're saying, so the FBI found a burn bag filled with documents in a secret room, and it's being touted as a Russian hoax. Is this more distraction or is there any basis to it? I think she meant to say, let's see what the cards say. All right, so let's look into that. Burn bag of information. Oh, there's 667 of you here right now. Thanks so much for joining me, everyone. Burn bag, burn bag. Is it real or is it a plant? Let's see what the energy says around it, actually. Let's see what the cards say. God, what times? I've got to play a tennis match tomorrow, actually, at 11 a.m. It's not too bad, but I'm going to make sure I get some sleep after this. Had to squeeze in a little bit of a nap before the show. Behind bag. What's going on with that? Is there any? Look who's back. No, there might be something to it. If we look here, we've got the Hanged Man, yeah? And the Hanged Man talks about a change of perspective, yeah? Things being strung up, nothing can move, yeah? However, one foot is free, so this person can escape. So really also as well, the Hanged Man can talk about, you see here, there's this glow of enlightenment around his head. So the Hanged Man can talk about a change of perspective, or new information can emerge that makes us see things differently. Yeah. So this might be something new, something genuine. If we look here, we see the Two of Wands. Now, of course, the Wands, as you know, I associate with business. This card in particular really does talk about imports, exports, international trade, because you can see, look, he's holding the globe in his hand. But what kind of business? Yeah, it's obviously pertaining to what potentially these documents can contain. And of course, it's showing an international element there, which of course easily could be Russia. Look who's back. Look, it's the Wheel of Fortune returns. So this means things are moving in a way at a pace that cannot be controlled by anyone. It's as if it is fate and destiny moving the wheels here. If we look, we do have the Justice card that shows up. So it's showing there is an element of legality here. These are probably bona fide legal documents of some kind that will either be burnt or found or what have you. So again, this is showing there's a bit of potential legitimacy here. Yeah, these really could be documents. And then if we look here, we've got the Eight of Cups, which is about moving away, leaving things behind. I mean, obviously this was an attempt to bring something to an end. It could also be another distraction technique, or it could be, is someone potentially leaving office? I mean, could that happen with Scotus? Could someone be leaving? Seems unlikely at this stage, but you never know. Lion's Gate, when we're just reading on that energy. Let's just pull one more card. This is an end for someone in Scotus. That would qualify as leadership as well. They have immense power. Scotus. Oh no, money. The usual. Someone's been paid off. Yeah, someone's been paid to leave. Bribery. It might be a move for bribery to elicit money from someone. Could be Duck Larange or people connected with him. I think it's like a shot across the bow. Like we've got more kind of thing. Wow. Interesting that, eh? Interesting. Right. Okay, let's talk more about this whole Ghislaine Maxwell situation. What do you want me to ask on her, folks? Yeah, Anrod said, Orange Boy is treating Madam G is being treated too well considering her offences. Let the victim step forward and spill all of the tea. Indeed. Oh, here. Hello, Sheila. Celtic Tarot Sheila. It's a dumpster fire here in the United States. It's this thing, yeah, this thing where Trump is literally firing people for giving the official statistics on the economy. This is a new low. It's a new low. And I was watching like Midas Touch, as we all do now. I'm so glad for them, bringing a lot of light to things. But as they said, this will now, going forward, it will undermine America's integrity in terms of the statistics that it produces, which can normally be relied upon. because the job growth numbers in the United States is a calibration for the whole world. We need to remember that. And once you start tampering with those numbers, that is not good. That is not good. Once you start tampering with that, not that the Trump regime has much credibility, you start tampering with stuff like that, people really will start on the international level. They'll be like, no, we can't even trust the numbers. Yeah. Let's just see here. Jenny W says, hello, Hogarth and everyone. Keep the faith that justice will prevail, even if we can't see it right now. Yes, that's a very good point. What's this here? Titans by saying, Stephen Colbert, Wanda Sykes really ripped into Velveeta villain, and the comedians are like agitated hornets stinging Trump. Trump goes on after CBS. Not a smart move. Oh, and then Artistic World said, hi, Hoagie, I recall telling you ages ago about Kamala and her future job there and AG going forward. Amazing times for us all. AG. What does the AG stand for again? Forgive me. Sorry, I've got a blank on that one there. If someone could let me know in the comments. Sturgeon full murder. More intense than last, but okay, it's people talking about moon stuff there. Let's see, somebody. Oh, someone was stung by a yellow jacket. Got stung by a yellow jacket a few days ago, swollen and blistering, itchy and painful. At least takes my mind off the US news, silver lining, bless. And then Ohio Girl says, hello everyone, Maxwell is now within an hour drive from the Hudson. Abbott, I'm sure, was thrilled to help out. Wow. And then Rainbow's Clef says, in the current regime, honesty will not be tolerated. All right. So let's look, let's dive in now. This whole Maxwell scenario. Is she going to be pardoned? I mean, she hasn't been pardoned, but she's had a major upgrade, hasn't she? Her life has just become a lot more comfortable, which already in of itself says a lot. God, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? It's just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And there's still people that believe in Duck L'Orange. I mean, it's just, you cannot make this stuff up. And I think back as well, going astrological here, I think back to the Dasha that America is in, this Rahu Dasha. The Saturn Dasha is one of the most feared in Indian astrology. But let me tell you, the Rahu Dasha, for me, is one of the most challenging because life can get ridiculous in that Dasha. And the shadow of Rahu is what? Liars, cheats, crooks, thievery, poisoning. Just all sorts of douchebaggery can happen. And just look what's happening. Look what is happening. That's what's so remarkable about Vedic astrology. We can look at these timing sequence to see what overall energy is in control, not only in a person's life, but also at the country level as well. All right, Ghislaine, what's going on with her? See if the Six of Swords comes back up again. To emphasize the point. But Ghislaine. Ghislaine. Oh, okay. Six wanting to come out. Very interesting card that's come back. Another's back. Ah! Wow. You guys will know this when you see me read. When cards come back, I always say, isn't it? It means spirit is trying to say something, is underlining something. Is when cards come back, it shows that there's an underlying theme to all of the readings that is connected. So we're just now talking about Ghislaine. Yeah. We look here, what comes up? We have the Page of Swords. Now, pages are all about messages, as we know. Swords deal with the mind, deal with the intellect, Communication specifically, this card in general can talk about the media, just in general, social media, stuff like that. It can also deal with criticism. It can also deal with slander. It can also deal with gossip. But this can also be the sword of truth as well that is wielded, or the spy in the camp. This, of course, is Ghislaine in terms of how she has been fighting the situation, her situation, to improve her situation. It's now being alleged, I don't know if this is to save J.D. Vance's bacon, but it's now being alleged that the leak of the Trump kind of birthday card to Epstein for his 50th birthday at the time, they're saying that was leaked by the Maxwell estate. Yeah, this could also be a leak as well, or press release, stuff like that. And they're saying that was a shot across the bow to be like, hey, you need to watch out. Remember, we've got all of the dirt on you. So either way, you see, this card is really talking about the energy around Maxwell and how she's been using the potential for damaging information, yeah, to improve her situation, which of course has already worked. Look what card came up next. Justice. And do you remember I said, you know, when I think I can't remember when it was. I do so many readings now, but there was a reading that I did, and I said, you know, it looks like Scotus might be involved. At least one or two people in Scotus are possibly part of this ring, and maybe that is something that may emerge over Lion's Gate. We'll have to see. But you see, the Justice card keeps coming back. Also, as well, this is talking about the legalities, the things that she has now got in her favor because of the things she's been prepared to say. Yeah. If we look here, we get the 8 of Cups, which also comes back again. So someone's leaving. Someone is leaving. It can also, of course, be talking about Ghislaine. I think now, if you remember the reading I did, was it last week? And I said she's going to return to the UK. I think someone then wrote back and said she's not going to be safe anywhere. But I see her getting out of the States. So she had the 6 of Swords, where I said she's going to be getting some kind of deal, moving to smoother waters. They're going to do something for her. So she's now been moved facility. And then I think this is her exiting stage left, like leaving America entirely at some point. Yeah. If we look here, we get the Queen of Swords. I think this is Ghislaine. Yeah, she's a monster, but she is very intelligent. We know this. I think she studied Oxford or Cambridge or something like that. You know, speaks a few languages. You know, she's privileged. Yeah, she's privileged, but she's also intelligent. But this can the shadow of this card is it can be also a cold, clinical woman. Yeah, she is obviously very cold to be able to do what she did. So I think this is Ghislaine here. Look what card came back. You saw me shuffle, yeah? The Wheel of Fortune returns. So there is an element of these things just unfolding, one thing after the other. And then I accidentally pulled a sixth card, but the 6th card wanted to come out. And this is going to be the clarifier on that Wheel of Fortune. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Money. It's been paid off. There is a deal. She has done well out of this. I think what is going to happen is she's been paid a significant sum to keep Sturm. Yeah, to keep Sturm. To try and slow down the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, this story that's never been ending. They know that she's sharp and astute, and she has played her cards well. Whatever she's played them well, because she wants out of there. She's been able to leave that prison, and she's now in a less secure facility. But I think this is her leaving America entirely at some point. She has got the legal system, yeah, on her side. Because remember, it was the deputy from the DOJ. Yeah, this could also be the deputy visiting her in prison, and it's because of the bombastic, salacious, and revelatory things that she could say to embarrass not only Trump. Let's get my thing on. Get the camera back. To embarrass not only Trump, but other people, significant people in power. Wow. I mean, this is as corrupt as it gets, isn't it? As corrupt as it gets. My gosh. Okay, we've got 5 minutes left. Let's see. What's this? Thank you. What's this? What is women speak local politics? Let's just scroll down. And then Gloria C says, "Oh, I meant yes, he's a psychopath." I think she's talking about Trump. People talking a bit about the weather. Here we are. Sharon Dunphy says Trump fires the Commissioner of Labour Statistics because he didn't like the factual data. Say she's been manipulating Labour statistics to make him and the Republican Party look bad. I mean, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, let's just take another look at that. What does this mean for the US economy going forward? I don't know if you guys know, but you know, Las Vegas is struggling a lot. They've been they've been price gouging. Like, I was there in 2024 last year. It was ridiculous the way that you get diddled and dimed. Literally, you walk in and then when you walk out, they've got a fish hook taking more money out of your pockets. It's just ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. And they charged that guy, what was it, $55? What was it, $33 for a bottle of water? Okay, so the economic insurance policies, job data. What can we see about this? What's really going on? Well, we know what's going on, but it's the motivations. Well, here it is. Duck L'Orange is feeling very emotional right now. Yeah. Those job numbers, of course, have shaken him. Yeah, because it these facts completely undermine the narrative that he's been trying to spiel. Yeah, this story. He's trying to appeal to the emotions of his MAGA base, yeah, because he knows that a lot of them are just basically completely bonkers and cray-cray. But when these stats come out, it's hard to fight it, yeah. Look what comes in the obstacle position. You see how these cards keep coming back. How many times you saw me shuffle, yeah? Here, this is the wake-up call. Reality is the obstacle to the fantasy, this idyllic image that Trump is trying to create. Now, by sacking this person, it's just going to be pure naked propaganda. Yeah, this is also as well, Trump is trying to self-soothe. Yeah, he's having, this is again another narcissistic injury. Look what happened with the failed parade, yeah, with the squeaky wheels, yeah, squeaky wheels on the tank. It was a narcissistic injury. He deflected by basically trying to start war with Iran. Now he's talking about nuclear stuff on Russia, yeah. This is also to do with Trump's emotions, his inability to be able to control himself, yeah, and this is yet another wake-up call. His base need to abandon him. If we look here, we see what is emerging. We've got this aggression, yeah, in the Knight of Swords here. As we know, when it comes to Duck L'Orange, his best form of defense is attack. These bad numbers have come out. They undermine his central arguments and tenets. Everything that we knew was a load of BS from the get-go. So now he's gone on the attack, on the offensive. He's sacked that person, is trying to say that they're a Biden appointee, which is just a load of rubbish. I mean, it's just BS. If we look here, we see in a way this could, with the Eight of Swords, this could be talking about the US economy. I think this is the US economy that feels a hostage here. This is the American people, yeah, whose livelihoods, whose standards of living are being eroded. The woman here is blindfolded, and she's trying to navigate her way through. I think this is the fragility of the jobs numbers. This is the fragility of the US economy. And why? Because of Four of Wands, which we know when I'm reading politically is the White House. Yeah, it's the White House. It's Trump. And they're sacking that person to try and hide it all. What's going to be the outcome here? Let's get some clarifiers. It's going to be the outcome. Because this charade can't continue, isn't it, for much longer? Let's have a look. Yeah, look, the truth will come out that the economy is not growing as fast. Yeah, how can it? Yeah, this is a page. Page is again about messages. This is what? Economic news. Yeah, and it's not a big wealthy card. If we look here, there's going to be some action that's going to need to be taken here with the Knight of Wands. And again, Wands also deal with business and entrepreneurship. And then here as the final outcome, we have the Ace of Swords. So it's like the truth is just going to be undeniable. People are just going to look at their lives. He can massage the statistics as much as he wants. People are going to look at their bank balances and they're going to be able to know the truth. Wow. Let's see here. Will Gavin Newsom run for the presidency? Does he have a chance? He recently threatened Texas that if they're gerrymandered districts to give Republicans a win, he would do the same in California, which would completely eliminate the Republican majority. He seems to be the only one not afraid to clap back at the MAGAs. This is true. In fact, yeah, let's end with that. Does he have a shot at it? We'll end with that. Gavin Newsom. At least he's speaking out. At least he's speaking out. Look at that. Look. The cards weren't even wanting to. Will Gavin Newsom run for presidency? He certainly should give it a go. But let's see what the cards have to say. What are Gavin Newsom's prospects for the presidency at this stage? Now, remember what I've said about Gavin Newsom in the past. I said that he could be president, but he may end up being president of his own country. You guys know already, I've said, I've foreseen that the states, certain states will secede. I thought it'd be the red states first, but I think it's going to be the blue ones out of necessity. I know a lot of people say, oh, that's not legal, etc. and stuff like that. But the mad BS that Trump is doing, I think all bets are off. But he could gerrymander as well. Wow, there's 764 of you here right now. Let's just do that, and then that will be the end of the show. Gavin Newsom, prospects for presidency. Gavin Newsom, prospects for presidency. Can he do it? Will he do it? So what we're looking out here for would be maybe victory cards if it's on. Or let's see if cards come back. Let's see. How interesting. Well, surprise, surprise. Of the 5 cards that I've pulled, 3 have come back. He's thinking about going for it here with the 9 of Wands, but it's difficult. Yeah, he's feeling embattled right now. He's fighting a lot of fights on different fronts. Yeah, but he is also sick and tired of the Trump regime. Yeah, this is also someone who is prepared to fight. They're not defeated. So it also shows that he is cunning and canny. So he's switched on. Yeah, Gavin Newsom is switched on and he's prepared for the fight. If we look here, we see the strength card returns. So again, this is talking about he's going to have his strength and resolve. Yeah, he's really having to step up now as a leader as well. This is also leading in again as well to what the Lion's Gate energy that we were talking about before. We see the lion has returned. So we know Spirit is drawing back that theme. So we're going to see some interesting stuff happen over this Lion's Gate time period. Never know. Could his star rise further, or maybe will there be someone else in the Democratic Party that comes back to prominence? If we look here, though, all is not quite well, though. However, we do have the Moon card here. The moon card talks about the challenge between the domesticated dog and the wild spirit of the wolf, and walking between the pillars of truth, because of course nothing is clear by moonlight. We also have the lobster coming out, which is talking, for me, represents the id, the deep, dark, unconscious. So there's still more to emerge. You never know, there might even be smear campaigns against Gavin Newsom, or there's just going to be more information that comes out of how maybe the GOP are trying to stop the advancement of certain issues. If we look here, the lovers come back. Again, this is talking about imports and exports. I really, really do feel that Gavin Newsom has quite advanced plans, contingency plans of what to do if he needs to break a blockade in regards to tariffs and stuff like that. I know I've said it before and I'm going to keep repeating it. It keeps coming up. The lovers for me is not just about literal relationships, it's about trade agreements. Yeah, agreements. And then look, his outcome card is the Seven of Pentacles, which again is also another returning card. Return on investment, ROI. This is also a card of harvest. Gavin Newsom has frequently said that California as a state produces a lot of product, a lot of food, yeah, a lot of wine, obviously a lot of money as well. What I'm going to say, this is going to sound a bit controversial. If Gavin Newsom becomes president, it may be of his own country. I know that might be controversial, but in a way, and if it's not that, because that is quite a controversial thing to say, he may as well be the president. Do you know what I mean? Because I think he is the one that is prepared to do the leadership. Yeah, the fact that the lion is back. Let me pull one more card on Gavin on this Seven of Pentacles. How will that fructify? That Seven of Pentacles. How will that fructify? Ah, look! How many times has this card come out? 4 times? Let me know in the comments, because I can't remember how many times it's come out, but I think this is the 4th, 3rd or 4th, at least. Judgment. This is a massive wake-up call. I think Gavin Newsom has had a huge wake-up call, and he is blowing the trumpet call as well, not only for himself, but I think the whole of the Democratic Party. I really do. He was saying that, it was just saying as much the other day, but he really means it. He has got plans. He has got significant plans. And so again, reading it backwards, yeah? Revelation, significant plans about what? The economy of California, not just America, the economy of California. He's prepared to make trade deals and agreements, yeah, with other countries, China, Japan, wherever. But there is an element still of secrecy here. Yes, something happening underneath the waters. Nothing is clear by moonlight. Wow, 785 of you here right now. He's got there are quiet negotiations going on. He's standing up, yeah, being a leader, yeah, the strength card. And this is this Lionsgate energy coming through. Could we be seeing him come to yet even more prominence? And look, 9 of Wands, he's prepared to fight. He's prepared to fight to the end. Gavin Newsom is not playing. Yeah, he is not playing. He is in it for the fight. And I would say, watch this space, folks. Yeah, I feel quite encouraged by that. I will leave it there. Otherwise, my show is just going to drag on for too long. And I am playing tennis in the morning. Again, just a little reminder. If you want a 20% discount off my consultations, when you go to my website, hogarthglobalastrology.com, which I always list in the video description, you just put in Hoagie20, yeah, and you get 20% off all my consultations. I think there's only one on there which you can't, which is the 45-minute one, but all the rest you can. And I'm going to be keeping that up to about the 12th of August. So yeah, wanted to do that little sale for everyone. Interesting, isn't it? Those cards with Gavin Newsom. I'm going to leave it there. Let me just say some more thank yous as well. Thank you as well to Foggy for your kind donation, much appreciated, and Brent Travis as well. I will leave it there. I want to try and get some sleep, play tennis tomorrow, and then I'll be back. Anyway, big love, everyone, and I will see you all soon. Yeah, catch you in a bit. All right, bye-bye for now.